Hi, and welcome back. Finally, we have reached to the last testing type, which is ad hoc testing. There is already a dedicated video on the same, so I would recommend you to go through that first. Now, let us check the test cases one by one. So, just to revise, in ad hoc testing, we try to break the flow of the system. Okay, let's go through the test cases and see what we can do. So the first test case we have is that while the home page is loading, disconnect the internet. Okay, so the home page is loading. So instead of allowing it to load, we are breaking the flow. We are fluctuating the internet. Okay, so we need to try that, and we need to see how the screen is visible, whether it shows proper message that your internet is off or something like that, or the UI gets distorted. So we need to see what happens when something like internet gets fluctuated while the home page is loading. Okay, so that we need to check. Similarly, the same thing we can do when we try to register. Okay, so what it says, it asks us to enter all the valid input fields in the registration form. Okay, and then when we tap on the register button, it goes to server with all the data. So while client server communication is happening, okay, we need to disconnect internet again. So we are trying to break the flow of the whole registration process, and even in that case we need to check how it behaves. If any weird page comes up, then we need to file it as a bug and set the status as fail. Okay, now say when we execute test case A-1.2, after that we need to try to register with the same fields which we have used in test case 1.2 and see whether we are able to register or not. Okay, so in test case 1.2, if the registration happens successfully behind the scenes, then in test case 1.3 it should deny, saying that the user ID already exists. Okay, it should not happen that in the database the user entries are available multiple times because of such internet fluctuation. So we need to check that database is consistent. So we need to keep doing such kind of things that can break the flow of the whole working. Okay, now overall in general, no matter how many types of pages are there or how many number of pages are there, we need to check for all. We need to fluctuate the internet and see how that particular page behaves. Another thing we can do is that we keep the website open for several days without shutting down the PC or laptop. Or say we have logged into the system and then we just close the lid of the laptop, or we do hibernate. So when we come out of the hibernate and when we start the PC, then how the website behaves? Is the UI distorted or what happens with the website? So we need to just check all these kind of scenarios like internet fluctuation, switching off the computer while registration is happening, and so on. Okay, so in ad hoc we can do all these kind of things. We can check for something that no one thinks about. Okay, like power failure happens or something like that. So in short, we need to break the flow abruptly. Okay, so that is it about ad hoc testing. Thus, we have covered almost all possible test cases for a registration page. Please note that there are still more test cases possible in each and every section, but it is not possible to cover everything. So I would really want you to think more about it and add to it. Okay. So to summarize, firstly, we did analysis, then we identified key features in our system, which are registration and login, and then we have written test cases for positive scenarios, validations, UI, UX, integration, compatibility, security, performance, and finally, we have seen about ad hoc testing. Now, we have to write the test cases for the second module, which is login, which we will which will be an exercise for you. However, don't worry, we have an informal lecture to discuss about the test cases of login module. So stay tuned and I'll see you in the next lecture. Thank you.